The Bravo Hotel station, come back with your call sign again, please, sir.
Whiskey 8, Sierra Bravo Hotel.
Roger, roger. This is Kilo Charlie 9, Victor Kilo Victor. Good morning.
And good morning to you. How's my signal there? You're at 10 over 9 here.
Well, I can't give you an actual S-meter reading, but you seem to be about 10 dB above my noise level, Roger.
I guess that's all one needs these days, is to be above the noise level, isn't it? Name here is Paul, Papa Alpha, United Lima, just north of Charleston, West Virginia, W8SPH.
Roger, was that Paul?
Yeah, QSL.
Oh, roger that, roger that. Yeah, well, my receiver, we do QSO-VLOG recordings, and so I take particular attention to the front-end sensitivity and not use any more RF gain in the front end of the receiver than I need to get the job done. So, you know, in sideband, it's kind of like CW, and if you got a bunch of RF gain cranked in there, you have a bunch of noise suck up between the words, or the dashes and dots, Roger.
Yeah, I normally do that too. Right now, my noise level isn't too bad. I've got you on full RF gain without any problems. I usually start out that way to get an accurate S-meter reading, and then I might cut it back.
Roger. Now, I see our 40-meter band is playing its normal games. That was about a 20 dB fade there for a moment, and then it came back, Roger.
Yeah, Roger. Anyway, I'm on an off-center fed dipole here, an ICOM 7300, just running at 100 watts. I haven't turned the amplifier on. I will if I need to. And like I said, I'm just about 10 miles north of Charleston, West Virginia, which is our capital. Back to you.
Oh, roger, roger, Paul. Well, you might want to turn on that item, because we are QSO-VLOG recording, and we do paste them on YouTube so folks can check out what their station sounds like. You know, it's so hard for a person to get an accurate rendition of their on-air signal, because one thing, if you're talking, you can't hardly listen. Some can do that better than others, but you know, this way, this is we're recording direct line out into our mixer, so you know, it doesn't come out sounding like a lot of those air checks on YouTube. They use the camera microphone, so the air check turns out sounding more like the guy's room than reality, Roger.
Yeah, now, give me that again, exactly. Where are you telling me to do this, to check out my audio?
Well, if you wanted to fire up your amp to give me a cleaner signal so you could hear yourself pristine on the playback, if you went to YouTube and checked out our QSO-VLOG, Roger.
Okay, well, the amplifier's on now. We're up to a little over 900 watts. Now, where would I check this out later?
Oh, that makes such a such a difference. We have a YouTube page. If you do a call letter search on YouTube, Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, that will take you to our QSO-VLOG page. And what we're doing, you know, usually on Friday mornings, we record for about an hour and a half. And if you look for the title, this will be called My Group, and the date and the time. I'm sorry, the date and the frequency, okay? Which would be, today's date is 8/17/18, and the frequency obviously is 7189, Roger?
Roger, glad to see we're both reading the same frequency too.
Roger. Sometimes I have trouble with the dates, but I do have one of those atomically correct atomic clocks, which I have dutifully deactivated. The radio because it kept screwing up, but it does give me stays with the right date, Roger.
Roger.
But anyway, so we are in full-fledged recording now, so tell me about your station a little bit.
Okay, I forgot your name already. Okay, we'll get that next time around. I am running a ICOM IC7300 and driving an AL80V amplifier, and we're running just about a kilowatt, I guess, on the peaks, and the antenna's an off-center fed dipole up about 30 feet. Okay, back at you. How'd that sound?
Roger, Roger, beautiful. The name here is Jim, Juliet India Mike, and we are located just across the river from Louisville, Kentucky. Downtown Louisville is about 3 miles away over the Ohio River, or across from the Ohio River, and we're in Indiana, actually. And let's see, I was going to say that that radio, man, that is one choice, beautiful radio, Roger.
Oh, yeah, I've had it just a little over a year now, and I just love it.
Roger, yeah, I've heard a bunch of good reports on that radio. It is the radio of the hour, I think.
Yeah, apparently they're selling everything they can build, and then they've got that 7610, which is very popular too. But I don't see why I have to spend $2,000 more to get something. I mean, this is all I can handle.
Oh, Roger, Roger, yeah. Sometimes you get too many knobs and whistles, and you can't get from here to there fast enough, or even, I mean, you spend, many months reading the 2-inch manual.
Yeah, well, yes it is. It's kind of like operating your computer on Windows. There's things on Windows that, even though I've been using Windows probably since day one, back in the late 80s, there's still things I don't know anything about. I just learned something about this radio yesterday, where it's got a clock on it, and if up in the upper right-hand corner, and I'm reading my local time, if I touch that time, it pops up and shows me UTC also. I don't think I had found that in the manual.
Oh, Roger, Roger. Well, some manuals, I had a radio from hell one time. I think it was a Kenwood dual frequency UHF VHF. It took till page 17 to hit the on button, to tell me about the on button, Roger.
Oh my goodness, yeah. Fortunately, this has got the power button on the top left on the box itself, so I did find that right away. By the way, I'm on YouTube, and I put in KC9VKV, and it says no results.
All right, let me give you the call again phonetically. Kilo, Charlie, 9, Victor, Kilo, Victor. Roger?
Victor, Kilo, Victor. Here we go. Yep, okay. Here we go. Got it all there now. Okay, yeah. Yeah, all kind of things popping up, but I'll take a look at it after we do this, but here.
Yeah, Roger, Roger. Yeah, we have about 230 or 220 QSO-VLOGs in our main list segment, and this is, well, I guess I get about 225, I guess it is now. I'm trying to remember, but yours will be, or ours will be, somewhere on that page within a couple of days. It usually takes me a couple of days to be able to post. Roger?
Oh, okay. I'm glad you told me that. Otherwise, I'd have been hunting all morning for it. I'll check it back this weekend for that. Be curious to hear that. Yeah. What do you think? What the most important thing to me is what the next guy, the other guy, thinks about my audio. What do you think about it?
Oh, I think you got to go. And what kind of mic are you using?
I am using we'll call it a CM500 made by. Hold on a second. Made by Yamaha. It's made for the music industry. It's a headset. It gets really good comments, and besides that, it only costs $50.
Oh, Roger, Roger. Well, see, now I didn't even know it was a headset, so that's the first hurdle right there. Usually a lot of headsets are plagued by transients and stuff because they don't have a very good audio acoustic filtering system going into the boom mic. Roger?
Yeah, well, I'm very happy to this. I've got very bad hearing, so wearing the headphones itself is very helpful for me. And also, you know, since we, at least I do, use a computer all the time online, that I wanted to have both hands free. I got my right hand on a mouse right now. In fact, sometimes I get confused. I go to operate the radio, and I pick up the mouse and try to run it across the radio screen. But I'm also been using Ham Radio Deluxe, which I'm not sure I like that much, but anyway, in fact, apparently it just failed on me. It's crashed. Anyway, so that's what I do here. But by the way, your signal sounds fine too. Good audio, good train signal, no problems at all.
This is November 9, Golf Tango Oscar.
Stand by, please. Roger, Paul. Roger. Yeah, I was just, it reminds me of that story, you know, the guy with your hands free. It reminds me of the guy that had the burglar cornered. He had the gun in his flashlight, and he had the gun to his head and the flashlight, and said, "One more step and I'm going to shoot."
By the way, I think there's a breaker. You want to take that?
Roger, go ahead, Lou.
Yes, sir. The other gentleman with that Yamaha microphone sounds beautiful. I'm 3 miles east of Mr. Ferguson, and I'm the sidekick. We've done a lot of dirty deeds done dirt cheap. Good evening to you. This is Lou in 9GTO.
See, but he doesn't know what time it is. It's morning.
Wait a minute. I didn't say it was afternoon, good morning. Well, I might have said that, whatever time it may be. But good evening to you, sir. Let me get your name again.
Okay, my name is Paul, Papa Alpha United Lima, Lou, and you're a 9 here, which is about where my noise level was moved up to, but so far I can copy you.
Yeah, I'm on the vertical. That's the difference. I'm on a vertical, not on a horizontal. But I can find a horizontal. I can go out there and find one. I've got one somewhere. Let me go out and switch over to the inverted V double bazooka, and I'll be right back in 9GTO.
Okay.
Take it over, Jimmy.
Back at you, Paul. That signal's really good. You know, I wish 40 would straighten out and just be what it is without the fades, you know.
Yeah, I find it very frustrating these days to be operating because you don't know what the band's going to be like in next minute.
Roger, yeah. Well, you know, the folks that's running all that front-end AGC, they don't care too much, you know, but I'm not running any, so I do have a little trim pot. I have a little audio trim pot right by my toggle on, toggle off talk button, and so I do ride audio gain. I'm looking at your signal on a VU meter and riding manual gain, Roger.
Okay, yeah, I've got... I can watch the audio on this rig here, which is kind of nice, except I don't know how to interpret what I see on the instruments, so I don't bother with it much.
Roger, what kind of display? Do you have a VU meter, or is it lights?
No, I have, let me see. What I have is I've got they call it an audio scope. I'm both looking at like an oscilloscope plot, and I'm also at the same time looking at a frequency plot, which goes up, shows me at a little over 3 kilohertz wide.
Oh, Roger. Well, that's the most accurate way to look at audio. Of course, I was in broadcasting for 50 years and spent all of that time looking at a VU meter. So I'm more inclined to see that. I can usually tell where the needle is going to go before it travels too far towards where it's going, Roger.
Okay, yeah, I've never used a VU meter, but now see, my audio signal looks much different on here than yours does, and I don't know why that is, but especially on the envelope in particular that I'm looking at.
Roger. Well, I've got quite a bit of top end for articulation in there, so you're probably seeing this one fairly well broad across the scope, Roger.
I'm back, guys. Hello, radio.
All right, we were talking there, Lou. Stand by just a moment.
Okay, and by the way, my signal width is a bit, you're right around 2.8, which is where you should be, and looks like I'm about 3.5 kilohertz.
Roger, but in the analog or the digital oscilloscope presentation of the audio, you can see the lower frequencies and the upper frequencies of the audio spectrum being looked at. Roger?
I really don't know what I'm looking at, but boy, it's different when I see my signal versus yours, and I don't know what that means unless I'm kind of tending to overload this instrument too. But I've gone online and looked for information that would help me interpret what I'm looking at, but I can't find anything.
Roger, go ahead, Lou.
Yeah, I got a shorted coax.
Well, that's no way to start a day.
I had a flashover, so I had to get off of it.
A flashover?
Yeah, the antenna out there's got something bad with it. When I went to load it up, low wattage-wise, it's showing no SWR, which when you load it up with wattage, it starts sputtering.
You got to get a better coax.
No, it's the connection up there. It's in the T. I got to lower it down today and work on it.
But it does all right at lower wattage?
Yeah, I'm putting out 100 watts right now, and I've got SWR. Let me see here. Let me make sure that the SWR is acceptable. I'm okay. It ain't great, but it's okay. Yeah, sir, can you hear me better on the inverted V?
Was that my question?
Yes, sir. Is it about the same?
Yeah, well, actually, it might be a little bit better. Yeah, I think you're better.
And I'm giving you about 80 watts on the inverted V, where I was on a vertical giving you 1,500 watts, and you couldn't hear me.
Yeah, well, I definitely can hear you better, so I don't know if the noise has changed, though, but yeah, you're better.
All right, we'll let it go at that. You guys get back to your YouTube, N9GTO.
Catch you in a minute there, Lou. So, Paul, you're running how much wattage there?
Right now, I'm peaking at 1,000 watts.
Roger. And that antenna was a what?
It's an off-center fed dipole. It's an MFJ. It's 6 meters, 10 meters, 20 and 40.
Roger. Now, why would you buy an antenna that you could build?
I'll tell you what, one reason, when I bought it, I wasn't sure I could build one. In fact, I did try to build one, and it didn't work worth a darn. And here's what I found out after doing some research and actually getting a hold of and talking to the man who designed the MFJ antenna. If you go looking to build an off-center fed dipole, everyone will tell you to use a 4-to-1 on your transformer up there. Well, it actually requires a 2.35 to 1, and I've actually measured that on this now since I know that, and that's what it is. And when I built one with a 4-to-1, it didn't work worth a darn. The SWR was terrible.
Roger. Well, I'm using a dipole, and I'm not using a transformer. It's the only thing I am using is a choke. But going direct from the choke to the dipole, and I've got 1.01 to 1 standing wave. I got 3 inverted V's that are running 1.01 to 1. Roger.
Yeah, a dipole is inherently a center-fed dipole is SWI has a impedance of 72 ohms, but it's a lot different when you go off center. It really starts climbing, and that's why the transformer is needed. And but if you get the wrong one on there, then you're messed up. Now this antenna here, since it's multi-band, now I'm running on 40 meters. I'm running just about 1.6, 1.8 to 1 right now. That's now if I move into 20 meters and 10 meters and 6 meters, I'll be running. Won't be able to get a reading. It'll be right around 1 to 1 or something like you've got there. But it just makes it into 40 meters. But That's about the worst it gets, so I can live with that quite well. But yeah, if anyone ever wants to build one of these, in fact, there was an article in QST quite a few years ago written by this guy who designed this antenna before he got tied in with MFJ. And all the details are there. MFJ has improved the construction of it and whatnot, but electrically it's still the same.
Roger that. Roger that. Well, I use a tuning method where I adjust the SWR on the ground side and bring it back on frequency on the high side. And I keep going back and forth, always making the SWR adjustments on the negative side and the frequency adjustments on the high side, and you can walk it right on down, like I say, to 1.01 to 1, which and also, like I say, I have 3 separate inverted V's because my luck of trying to get those results on a single antenna on multi-bands is probably akin to 1,000 billion to 1. So to be able to run the way I want to run, SWR-wise, I just figured it'd be a lot simpler just to use a separate antenna for each band, Roger.
Yeah, by the way, I do not use an antenna tuner with this antenna. So I bought one and I realized you don't need it. And now with the amplifier, I don't have a kilowatt tuner anyway, so and I don't intend to buy one. It's not in my interest, quite frankly. So I wonder what's going on here. My SWR seems to be dropping a little bit. Not that I care, but oh well. It's probably raining out there. Maybe that's affecting it. I don't know, but nothing I'm going to be concerned about. But yeah, no tuner. And that's really sweet that I can operate this radio. I often operated just with 100 watts, so I can operate with without a tuner across several bands. And I have another antenna that's it's a folded sleeve. I mean, it's a 2-band dipole, and it's got a fed element, and it's got a parasitic element for 15, 17 meters. That is pretty well flat across the band. I don't use a tuner on that either. So basically, all the bands I operate on here, I don't need a tuner for.
Roger that. Yeah, we have a tuner, but I only use the tuner on 80 meters because the band is so large. It's hard to go. I center tune for almost 1-to-1 in the middle of 80, and then by the time I get to one end or the other end, I'm up there about 1.8 or something, 1.9. So I use the tuner on that band, but otherwise I go to bypass for the other bands, and I have a 6-position rotary switch that I have my other dipoles coming into, and I just select the rotary switches to what band antenna I want, and I'm getting there through a bypass on the antenna tuner. Roger.
Yeah, well, I like the idea of the 6-position switch, which I assume means you have 6 antennas. I don't have the space or the energy for that, but on top of that, I know darn well I forget to turn that switch at the right time. That's another reason a multi-band works good for me, protects me. Another thing is that, I don't like to use the term tuner, even though that's what I said. I think the old term that used to be matchbox is more appropriate because we're not tuning the antenna. We're just protecting the radio. The antenna is resonant at one frequency, and that's it. No matter what we do with our tuner, so we're just keeping that whatchamacallit, the energy coming back down, bouncing back down the reflected power. I keep forgetting the word. The reflected power from damaging the transmitter.
Roger. Well, a trans match, as it were, LC circuit, whatever you want to call it there. Most folks, even the manufacturers, I think, call it antenna tuner, Roger.
Yes, they do, but it doesn't tune the antenna.
Oh, Roger, Roger. Well, can't win them all. At least, they have and use a terminology that most folks can rationalize with. If they called it a trans match or something, or a LC circuit, nobody would know what they're talking about.
Yeah, you're right. I cannot argue with that at all. And what the whole main thing is that regardless what your SWR or mine is, if we're able to make contact and have a conversation with a little difficulty as we are now, that's the main thing. I mean, no antenna is going to give you a bandwidth, an enormous bandwidth. That's why we have multiple antennas, 24 or like that. So, as long as we can keep our transmitter from smoking and get a signal out there that's readable, does anything else matter?
That's a Roger. Well, the band just took a 40 dB hit right there. It did take a 40 dB hit. So, Paul, I want to jump out of here. I had a pleasure this morning talking to you, and we will be posting this QSO-VLOG within the next couple of days. And again, if you go to YouTube and do a call letter search for Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, when that page opens up, you'll find our QSO there. It'll be a reference to my group and the date and the frequency. Roger, Roger.
Well, Roger, thank you. I appreciate that. I look forward to it. I look forward to, I guess, maybe Sunday afternoon, something like that. Give you time to put it up there. And thanks for the QSO. I appreciate it. And have a great weekend. W8SPH is clear.
Roger, Roger, Paul. 3 set away, sir. Have a good day. This is Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor with the Friday morning QSO-VLOG recording transmission. If you might want to check out what your radio sounds like, we are recording and we will be posting this on YouTube. So give me a call. This is Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor. This is Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor with the Friday morning QSO-VLOG recording. If you have a radio that you want to check out the audio, we are recording and we'll be posting it on YouTube. So give me a call. This is KC9VKV. Hark, hark, I hear someone tuning as we speak. So, somebody tuning up as we speak. This is Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor. But I think they're on the wrong frequency. We're 7189, 7189, KC9VKV.
And I'm QRP.
Well, what do you want to be that for?
Well, because I got a short out there, and I don't feel like going out there fooling with it right now.
Well, just leave it like it is. Run your 80 watts.
That's what I'm doing right now, and the SWR is flipping and flopping and stuff. I got the broadcast transmitter doing really well. I got everything all lined up, and got the radio here. My son has his radio in his computer room, and he contacts me, and that's what he just did when I went to the antenna sparks. It damn near took out the band switch on the AL80.
Oh, why is that?
High SWR under a load.
Oh, Roger, Roger. Well, I don't want to do that, man. I'm going to have to come over and work your system over some.
Well, I got a feeling it's going to take more than that. I've got a crane coming. We're going to put the cubicle quad back up. And by the way, the 2-element cubicle quad is done, built for 10 meters. And boy, does it unbelievably receive on all bands on the SDR, on the Play Pro 2. I was up on 20 meters earlier today listening to these guys, and it was just unbelievable. So I came in here and loaded up the 40-meter vertical with a tuner, and made contact with them and let them know that I had made an audio gate of them, and I sent it to them in a CD-ROM version. So they really enjoyed that. But yeah, all's good in 9 GTO at KC9VKV. Is there anybody else out there who would like to get in the QSO?
This is Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor with the Friday morning QSO-VLOG recording. Anybody got a radio they want to check the audio with, give us a shout, and we'll record you and then post it up on YouTube so you can check out your audio in the comforts of your air chair without having to make a sound on your microphone. This is reality personified. Go to great lengths to preserve the integrity of your transmission. Our audio front end, our F.Y.I s, is at bare minimum, so we have no AGC compression complicating the sideband signal that we're receiving. We're coming out line out right into the audio mixer. There's no room microphone like a lot of the Airchecks on YouTube where they use the camera microphone to make the QSO recording, and the recording turns out sounding more like the guy's room than your radio. So this is KC9VKV. Anybody out there want to hear the radio? Give me a shout.
KC9VKV. This is Whiskey 2 Charlie Sugar India.
Whiskey 2 what?
Charlie Sugar India.
Roger there. Good morning. This is KC9VKV. Name here is Jim.
Good morning, Jim. Name here is Charles, and we're located in the western part of North Carolina, running a FT450D, microphones MD100, and amplifiers 811H, going into a dipole of about 45 feet. Over.
Roger, Roger. Now, Charles, you're EQing that microphone quite a bit. Roll off on the bottom end, Roger.
Okay, very good. Well, nice to meet you there, Jim. And you're sounding great down here in North Carolina today. Over.
Roger. Now you must be running. Let me see. I'll put my hat on, and I'm saying you're running probably right at 800 watts.
That is a QSL 700 to 800 watts with amplifier. Over.
Roger that. Yes, a very, very nice signal. What kind of radio you running there?
It's the Yaesu Fox Tango 450 Delta.
Roger that. And what kind of antenna system?
It's a dipole and apex format, inverted V configuration. Apex is about 45 feet and a tree in the front yard. Over.
Roger. Now you're in South Carolina?
North Carolina, the western part of the state, about 6 miles out of Marshall, North Carolina, which is a real small city, about a 15-minute drive from the Tennessee state line. Over.
Roger. Now, am I giving you 30 over or 20 over?
You just peaked 40 over, QSL.
I was going to say that, but I thought that might be reaching a little bit, you know.
You even went above it a little bit that time.
Roger, yeah, your signal is just outstanding, so I figured, we're both occupying the same trough, so to speak. Anyway, yeah, you're really sounding good this morning. We are running our video recorder, and so we will be posting this on YouTube in the next couple of days, Roger.
Okay, I shall appreciate it, and I look forward to hearing how that sounds. Been thinking about getting a new microphone, but definitely been happy with this MD100. I know some guys don't like it, but going from the stock mic to the MD100, I got compliments without telling anybody. So that tells you that it was an improvement. Over.
Oh, roger that, roger that. And I imagine with that EQ setup, you cut through some of those, dog fights quite well. Because, like I say, I'm familiar with that microphone, and I know that there's a lot more bottom end, and I know that you're rolling it off for penetration effects, Roger.
Yeah, QSL. I do chase quite a bit of DX and have several pilots trying to get through, so it is probably, like you said, they're helping in that aspect.
Roger, roger. Now, I'd often thought about building a switch, that would change from one EQ pattern to the other just by hitting a switch, And so you can go from the World War II attack button to the more mellow QSO button, Roger.
Hey, that'd be very popular, I'm sure. Well, thanks for the nice contact there, and I look forward to seeing the video on YouTube there. Let me know what your username is. I am NC Photos, NCPHOTOS, on YouTube. I've got several videos up there too, quite a few DX recordings that I've got over the years that are posted, and appreciate the contact, W2CSI.
Roger, roger, Charles. Well, if you go to YouTube and do a call letter search for Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, that will bring up our QSO-VLOG page. And this recording, in the first part, will come out with the called My Group, and then the date, which is, I got it here, 8/17/18, and then the frequency 7189. And so usually runs for about an hour and a half, and we wind up with so many call signs that we can't put all the call signs on the title. So we do just call it My Group, the date, and the frequency. Roger?
Okay, that sounds great, Jim. I shouldn't have any problem pulling it up. You have a great day and have fun from W2CSI.
Roger, roger, Charles, and we'll be posting this in the next couple of days. So threes to you, sir. Enjoyed it. Great sounding station, KC9VKV.
Jimmy, give me 1 inch away from the mic.
I can't do that. But, well, okay, here's 1 inch away from the mic right there.
Sounds beautiful.
That's good. Okay, I'm going to be right here, though. I heard a station back in the distance there. Go ahead and try.
November 3, Romeo Tango Delta.
November 3, Romeo Tango Delta. Roger, roger.
Roger, Jim. Good to hear you again. I just figured out say hello.
Roger, roger. Who is this?
Get his opinion.
Here, Hotel Alpha, November Edward. We worked just about a year ago, over.
Oh, roger that, roger that. Where are you now?
Western Maryland, about 90 miles west of Baltimore, Maryland, over.
Western Maryland, roger, roger. Well, we are recording our QSO-VLOG for Friday, and we'll be posting it in the next couple of days. So welcome in there, and tell me what you're running up that way.
This morning I'm using an Omni 7 Heil 812 microphone, 35 watts into an AM811H Americon, running about 600 watts into a double bazooka, over.
Roger, roger. Well, we do not have good conditions this morning because you are only probably about 3 or 4 dB above my noise level, so you should be you should be a peg out, Roger.
Say hello to you, and hope you have a wonderful weekend coming up, Jim. Good to hear you. As always, we'll talk to you again soon. KC9, Victor Kilo, Victor. This is N3RTD. You have a great day, my friend.
Roger, roger. Appreciate the shout there. You have a good day yourself, and like I say, we will be posting this QSO-VLOG in the next couple of days. So if you get a chance, go to YouTube and do a call letter search for Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor. That'll bring her up there, and and it will be by the date, today's date, and the frequency. So threes to you, and we'll catch you later. KC9VKV.
73, Jim. You have a good one, buddy. 130 to Detroit.
This is Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor with our Friday morning QSO-VLOG recording. If you'd like to hear what your station sounds like, give us a call at, this is 7189, and we are recording now, and we'll record you and post this up on YouTube in the next couple of days. Thought I heard somebody back in there. Try again, please.
Kilo Delta 8 Oscar Julia Alpha. Just coming through to ask you what my signal was like. I just put my 25 RP, make one back up in the air.
You're about 2 dB above my noise level. Just about 2 dB above my noise level. What's the name?
My name is Brian. My call sign is Kilo Delta 8 Oscar Julia Alpha. I'm located here in southeastern Michigan in the south, about an hour north of Detroit.
Roger that. And what's the name?
Brian, B-R-I-A-N.
Was that Brian B?
Yes, sir.
Roger, Brian. Well, I wish I had a better signal to record. I'm sure that you would want to hear your audio, a little bit better, but it is what it is. 40 meters is not 100 watts transmitter friendly. It doesn't seem like, hopefully conditions will shift around a little bit. Roger.
Roger that. What's your location?
We're next door to Louisville, Kentucky. We're a hop, skip, and a jump, about 3 miles from downtown Louisville, across the Ohio River in Indiana. Roger.
Roger that. Yeah, it doesn't help when I'm kind of facing like a east-west coast. That's the best way I can figure myself as long as it is. That was the only given way that underneath me running with the speed that I have. So if I probably had it facing more to the south, I'd probably give you a better signal.
Roger that. Now, wouldn't it be great if you had 2 dipoles, one running east and west, and one running north and south, and then a 2-position rotary switch or toggle switch that you could switch back and forth? Roger.
Roger that. That's my plan now. I took it down and had a chance to do it. This morning gave me the opportunity before the rain, so I hurried up and ran out there with a slingshot and shot it up into a tree. It's probably about 40 feet off the ground. It's up there, but it's just facing the wrong way.
Roger, Brian. Now, one other thought. You might go to your ALC mode meter. Go to your ALC mode meter and just check your ALC reading to be sure that your audio is up to snuff. You want to be on the right-hand side of that meter position towards max, but not exceeding max, but next door to max on your ALC reading. Roger?
Yeah, roger that.
Because in sideband, your audio level determines your RF output level. So if you're undermodulated, then your RF output is suffering. So just every once in a while need to check your ALC, because a lot of folks don't. They make modifications, they change mics and all kinds of stuff, and they neglect or forget to go back and verify that their ALC level is correct. Roger. Of course, you can only determine your ALC reading and transmit. You do have to be in the transmit mode to visualize the ALC reading. Roger?
Roger
Well, I think the band is down. Come back and talk to me just a little bit.
I changed to a different microphone, and I didn't know if that would help me or not.
Well, apparently it did, or does. I can tell you're right at the 100% level on your audio, and you do have, you were looking good. I'm looking at your modulation on a VU meter, and it was up quite a bit. So come back and talk to me a little bit more. Tell me about your radio and your antenna system.
Well, right now I'm running on a T101DD. It was given to me by a gentleman who got it with the purchase, and he had no use for it. It's a little scratchy. It needs a little bit of work, but I've got this one, and I also have a 101EX that I also use. This one's a digital readout. It's more on frequency than the EX is. The VFO reading week is a 25RV that I made to use a 12-gauge wire, and gentleman, my Elmer had ladder line, and I purchased that from him. Other than that, that's all I got for right now. Working on getting more. I use the studio mic. That's what I'm running right now. Trying to think of the name.
Well, I don't know. Did you? I lost you, I think, or you cut off or something. But you might be a little excessive on your audio on that microphone. Well, I'm not complaining because I was having difficulty copying the mail, and I could copy that microphone. But you might want to reset your ALC reading if you use that microphone, because it did sound like it might be a tad warm. Roger.
I can turn the microphone down. That probably helped out. Now, the ALC reading, for some reason, like I said, this radio needs a little TLC, and it's not showing me an ALC reading on the meter at all. The switch is in its position where it needs to be, but it's... Oh, wait a second. Let me see if this will work.
Oh, your ALC is not reading at all?
No, it's not working for me at all. I have it on ALC, and I'm not seeing any. It's seeing a little bit of wiggle, but that's about it. Nothing major. The RF gain on the microphone is turned all the way up also.
Roger. Now, you might have bumped your VFO there. You sound like a click or two low. It might be a little low on frequency, Roger.
Yeah, Roger that. I can't figure it out. That's so maybe the switch needs a little cleaning or replacing, one or the other. Like I said, I got it given to me, and it was in pretty rough shape. I cleaned it up quite a bit. The screws were rusty, and and it's been sitting a while on a shelf from where he talked.
Oh, Roger. Yeah, that's you seem to be back on frequency. Did you shift frequency at all, or was that just a optical or audio illusion on my part?
No, I think I bumped it with my hand, and it seems to be good now, because you were getting a little funky sounding yourself.
Yeah, that happens. That's what the wife says. You're sounding a little funky.
The whip button, it also needs some help. Like I said, it was given to me. It transmits. I'm getting about 150 watts out of it. As I'm speaking right now, I'm watching the meter. I'm going about 100, 125 on the peak. It seems to be working all right on the transmit side. But, it is what it is. The tuner's working. I got a good flat match, which is nice. I got it to tune in nicely. It didn't take long to fight with it either.
Roger, Brian. Well, I just wish we had better conditions, where 100 watts comes in at a 20 over or 10 over or something, It just seems like any more 40 meters at this particular time is not real conducive for 100 watts. But anyway, it is what it is, and we've got you down on our recorder, barring any unforeseen incidents that I may be unaware of at the moment. And we will be posting this on YouTube in the next couple of days. So if you go to YouTube and do a call letter search for Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, that will bring up our QSO-VLOG page. And this QSO will be entitled My Group the day's date, and the frequency. Roger, roger.
I don't know what just happened, but I totally just lost everything. It's all right out. And my ACL, yeah, the switch you were telling me to transmit with here, it actually started to work a bit, so I think I'm doing all right. I said these switches are bad.
Roger, you might have hit your frequency, your VFO again. But let me say threes to you up that way, Brian. You have yourself a real good day. Roger, roger.
Roger, roger. Sorry about that. Like I said, it's just being really sensitive today. You have a good day. Thanks a lot for the QSO. Just want to make sure this whole deal still works. And we'll keep working on it, plucking away. As winter comes, you down here on the radio room.
Roger. All right, three's underway. So, like I say, we will be posting this on YouTube in the next couple of days. If you just go to YouTube and do that call out or search, Kilo Charlie 9, Victor Kilo Victor, that will bring up the page, and we will have this one by my group, today's date, and the frequency. So three is underway. Brian, catch you later. It's KC9VKV.
Catch you later. Have a good one. TOJA, we're clear. Thank you again.
Roger, roger.
Whiskey 0, Whiskey Echo, Mobile.
Whiskey Echo Station, come back with the call sign.
Yeah, the call Whiskey 0, Whiskey Echo, W0, PWE, Mobile, in Iowa.
Roger, in Iowa. Roger, roger. This is Kilo Charlie 9, Victor Kilo Victor. The name here is Jim, Juliet India Mike.
Okay, Jim, very good. Yeah, thanks for coming back to me there. Just on the road here, kind of wanted to make sure everything was working out okay. Seems like the band is not real hot today, but you've got a nice signal into, I guess I'm in eastern Iowa now. Just wonder what your QTH is there, Jim. Go ahead.
Roger, we are located next door to Louisville, Kentucky. We're just across the river from Louisville in Indiana, about 3 miles away from downtown Louisville. And you're a Mobile, is that a Roger?
That's a Roger, Jim. Mobile on Interstate 80. And probably closest town of any size here would be Iowa City, Iowa.
Roger, well, you're doing a great job. What kind of power are you running there?
Yeah, Jim, I'm running 70 watts. I'm running about 70 watts output. I have a QRP rig, a homebrew rig, and I'm feeding a little amplifier that I got put together here for the trip. Go ahead.
Roger that. And what's the name again? Roger, Jerry. Roger, Jerry. Well, you got that Mobile smoking, Roger.
Oh, thank you. That's good to hear. Yeah, I haven't run this amplifier mobile before, but it's good to hear that it's
Gosh, I don't know if I might have faded out or not, but it reminds me of the story of the guy in the Mobile. You know, I asked him, does the antenna on your Mobile seem to be directional? You know, and he said, yeah. It said sometimes it's hot off the right front fender, and I said, well, does that alter sometimes your journey? Because if you're doing an QSO and you take a turn and the audio drops off, then you make another turn and hopefully bring it back. And do you wind up with places that you don't know where you are at the end of the QSO?
Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay, Jim, well, I've got a sign here, but do appreciate the call, and hopefully we'll catch you again soon. 73 W0 PWE Mobile.
Roger, Roger, Jerry. Well, like I say, we are running our QSO-VLOG recorder, and we will be posting this in the next couple of days. If you go to YouTube and do a call letter search for Kilo Charlie 9, Victor Kilo Victor, that will bring up our QSO-VLOG page, and this QSO will be entitled My Group, today's date, and the frequency, so you'll be able to find it that way. Threes to you, Jerry. Have a good, safe trip, and we'll catch you later. This is Kilo Charlie 9, Victor Kilo Victor. And I hear a station out there. Station, come back and try again, please. Sorry, station, you are right at my noise. You are below my noise level. Actually, I could hear you in there, but could not make out any words. So maybe conditions will change in a little bit, and so try back. We'll probably be on for another 20 minutes or so, barring any unforeseen incidents or no contacts, whichever one comes first. This is Kilo Charlie 9, Victor Kilo Victor. This is Kilo Charlie 9, Victor Kilo Victor, and the Friday morning QSO-VLOG recording. We are recording for our YouTube page. If you happen to be curious about what your audio sounds like, this is the time and place. Give me a shout. We are recording with a great detail to conditions of the receiver, low RF gain, just enough gain to get the job done, and line out, no camera microphone in the room to add any discoloration. This is direct line out, KC9VKV. I know we're getting out. We are from Montreal to Miami, from New York to New Mexico. This is Kilo Charlie 9, Victor Kilo Victor. Kilo Charlie 9, Victor Kilo Victor with the Friday morning QSO-VLOG recording. Anybody got a radio, they want to hear the audio, give me a shout. This is KC9VKV standing by.
KC9VKV, WA3,
Was that WA3, what's the rest? WA3 station, you are right at my noise level. You are right at my noise level. Let's go. What's your name?
The handle is Dan, David Adam Nancy. Handle is Dan. Location is Lawrenceville, Pennsylvania. Lawrenceville, Pennsylvania. Over.
Was that Lawrenceville, Pennsylvania?
Yeah, L-I-N-E-S, like the Lawrenceville, Pennsylvania.
Okay, and try your call sign one more time.
Call sign is WA3, KZO, WA3,
Kilowatt Zulu Alpha.
This is Whiskey Alpha 3, kilowatt Zulu Oscar, O as in Oscar.
I got you. Thanks for the phonetics, boy. It helps on a slippery day like this morning. Conditions are not good, Roger.
Very good. You're about a 5-9 here. Very nice signal. Nice control. Got to give you a ring. Just kind of read the mail on this report from Nova.
Roger, Dan. Let me show you what 100 watts does. We'll go to 100. This is 100 watts. This is KC9VKV at 100 watts. check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we'll come up back to the KW. Roger.
Yeah, okay, that's significant. It looks like maybe a 2 or 3x unit difference.
Roger, Roger. Very helpful on a slippery day, Roger.
Yes, it is. I can see, feel the difference in these things. Power here, by the way, is just 100 watts, so we don't have to push out.
Roger, Roger. Just for kicks, Dan, just for kicks, come up with that mic, right on that mic, and let me hear you. Roger, about the same. Sometimes, you know, folks haven't checked their ALC in a long time, and so their, you know, their audio is not where it should be. But obviously, you came up on mic, and the signal did not appreciate that much better. So you were or are correct in your audio level. Roger, Roger.
Yeah, okay, very good. I don't have the signal audio processing turned on, so I might be able to make a change or two here, but I have to figure out this radio as an old Kenwood CS 2000X that I just recently got back to the local with, and I really don't know half of the story of it.
Roger, Roger. Well, I have found about, if you have a 0 to 10 compressor, you know, with a 0 to 10 capability, I found that about a 3 will be tremendously beneficial as far as reducing your dynamic range, which is what you want to do. You want to get ideally to about a 3 dB dynamic range swing, because without processing, the normal modulation level is about 30%. About 30%. So when you start processing it a little bit, hopefully you could come up to about, you know, about 60%, which would mean that you would sound about two or three times louder than what you normally do, Roger. Roger, Dan, you have slipped into my noise level there. Let me say 3s to you. And again, we do post this in the next couple of days to YouTube. So if you go to YouTube and do a call letter search for Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, that will bring up our QSO-VLOG page. And on that page, we'll have this QSO entitled My Group, the day's date, and the frequency. So 3s to you, Dan, and we'll catch you later. Roger.
Keep up the good work there. Have a good day. 73 WA3KZO, sir.
Roger, Roger, Dan. 3s to you, sir. This is Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor with the Friday morning QSO-VLOG recording. If you have a radio, you want to check out the audio and hear what it sounds like, give me a call. We are recording, and we'll be posting this QSO-VLOG in the next couple of days. KC9VKV, standing by.
Kilo Charlie 9, Alpha Echo Tango.
How are you?
Alpha Echo Tango Station. Alpha Echo Tango Station. Come back with a call again.
And you're sounding really good this morning into Tennessee.
I'm sorry, Tennessee Station. Stand by just a moment. The Alpha Tango Station.
It's Kilo Charlie 9, Oscar Echo Tango.
Oscar Echo Tango?
QSL.
Roger, Roger. And who do we have there?
My name is Henry. We're located in Illinois, about 1 mile from the Indiana state line. Now go ahead.
Well, welcome aboard, sir.
QSL. Yeah, you're sounding really good up here in Illinois. We just always jump in there and say good morning and see if we could make the trip back to you there. Go ahead.
Roger. Now, did you say Illinois?
Yes, I'm located in Illinois, but I'm near the Indiana state line, about 1 mile from the Indiana state line, QSL.
Oh, roger that. I thought you said Louisiana the first time. Well, yeah, you're almost in my home state there. We're located just across from Louisville, Kentucky, just across the Ohio in Indiana, roger?
Yeah, the QSL. QSL, yeah, you're south of me. I don't know how many miles, but you're south of me quite a bit there. Go ahead.
Roger, roger. What's the name again, please?
Henry. The name is Henry. Go ahead.
Roger, roger. I think you told me that, and my short-term memory is suffering, Roger.
Yes, we know that how that is when you start getting, like I am up in age. You start have trouble remembering stuff and having trouble finding stuff that you put down. Now go ahead.
Roger, roger. Now, Henry, what kind of radio and stuff you running?
I run an ICOM 7300. The antenna is a long wire. It's up about 36 to 40 feet, and the length of the wire is about 117 foot long, and the amplifiers are alpha. Now go ahead.
Roger, what's your output?
The output right now is just a shade over a kilowatt.
Oh, roger, roger. Well, it's shading my house for sure. I'm about to take my door off there, Henry.
QSL, yeah, we leave it. We run it at that rate all the time. We hardly ever change it. We run it about a kilowatt. That usually gets the job done if the conditions are good. Okay, I'm not going to hold you long. You have another station in there, so I'm going to say 73s, and thanks for picking me up. And we'll look forward to talking to you later on down the line. This is Henry, Kilo Charlie 9, Ocean Echo Tango. In Illinois, we'll be QRT 73s, and thanks again.
Roger, roger, Henry. Thank you, sir. We are recording our QSO-VLOG, and we will be posting this on YouTube in the next couple of days. So if you want to hear what your transmitter sounds like, if you go to YouTube and do a call letter search for Kilo Charlie 9, Victor Kilo Victor, that will bring up our QSO-VLOG page, and on that page you'll find our show today. It's called My Group, the day's date, and the frequency. So it'll be in there somewhere. Roger, roger.
That's a roger. Okay, we'll do that for sure. So 73s once again, and thanks for picking me up. Kilo Charlie 9 VKV. This is Kilo Charlie 9 Ocean Echo Tango. We'll be 73s and QRT.
Roger, roger, 3s, Henry. And the other station, I think it was a Tennessee station, come back? There was another station in there right before Henry. You still on the frequency?
Yes, sir. Just across the room. This is Kilo Mike 4 Zulu November.
Where are you, sir?
Tennessee. The Jim. This is Jim, right?
Roger, roger.
Okay. Well, we spoke the other day in some detail about the audio and about your recording. I do need to tune up on this frequency. I've got the amplifier, and it's doing a little bit less than what it should be doing, so I need to tune before we damage something. If you'll stand by or go on to the next station, and I'll catch you next time. KM4Z.
Roger. What's the name there?
Melvin.
Roger, roger, Melvin. All right. Yeah, tune up up River 5 or down River 5, please. And we'll talk. Anybody else? This is KC9VKV.
W9 X-ray India.
November 5.
X-ray India station. X-ray India station. Go ahead.
I screwed your call sign up, Jim.
I'm sorry, another station. Who screwed the call sign up?
Name is Greg. I'm located in southeastern Illinois in the town of Albion. Over.
Roger, Greg. Stand by just a minute. I hear Don, I think, in there from Evansville.
Yeah, that's right. I'm sorry if I keyed with somebody didn't need to. Just wanted to say hello to you. We don't get the chance to talk hardly anymore. I love the fact that I can talk just to you every once in a while. Welcome to the weekend, my friend.
Roger, Don, thank you very much. Did you get the chance to check out your transmissions up on YouTube?
Yes, I did, and I was kind of surprised. I sounded better than I thought I would.
Well, it happens every once in a while, Don.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Well, you take care. Welcome to the weekend, my friend, and I'm going to back on out of the way so you can get to them other guys. God bless in 73. Yeah, this is KB9YWQ.
Roger, Don from Evansville. 3's to you, sir. Appreciate the shout. Sounding good as always. This is KC9VKV. Greg, you still there?
Yes, still here. I could hear Don just fine, too. He's about, I'm 50 miles northwest of his QTH, over.
Ah, Roger. So you're towards Evansville?
Yes.
Ah, Roger. What part?
Well, I'm in Illinois, about 50 miles northwest of Evansville.
I got you. What kind of radio you running?
It's an old Yaesu FT990, and driving an SB1000, about a kilowatt.
Well, this is FT990 driving SB220, Roger.
Roger. Well, similar, only you've got two 3-500. So my antenna is a G5RV and an inverted V, about 35 feet up.
Roger. Well, you sounded mighty good. Everything, EQ and everything sounded really good, Roger.
Okay, well, good. I'm glad to hear that. It's rare that I get on 40 meters. I'm usually on 80 meters at the night. So I welcome the chance to tune everything up on another band. I've got an SA 2060 tuner, and so glad to know everything sounds okay. Well, you have a good signal, and your audio is superb too. Thank you.
Roger, Greg. Thank you so very much, sir. And we will be posting our QSO-VLOG that we're recording at this moment to YouTube in the next couple of days. So if you go to YouTube and call it a search for Kilo Charlie 9, Victor Kilo Victor, that will bring up our QSO-VLOG page. And right at the, well, not to the top, but somewhere on that page will be our QSO. It'll be entitled to My Group, today's date, and the frequency, and that should take you there. 3's, Greg, catch you later. It's KC9VKV.
Okay, well, thank you. I'll do that. And your name is what?
Name here is Jim Juliet India Mike.
Okay, and your location is in southern Indiana?
That's correct, about 3 miles from downtown Louisville. And the call is Kilo Charlie 9, Victor Kilo Victor.
Okay, very good, Jim. Thanks very much. KC9VKV, W9XI, 73.
Roger, Greg. 3's that away. This is KC9VKV with the Friday morning QSO-VLOG recording. If anybody wants to check out what their audio sounds like, give me a shout. KC9VKV standing by.
Okay, we're back, Jim. KM4Z, you copy?
The Tennessee station, I got you. Go ahead.
Okay, Melvin, and Mel for short. I wanted to, you spoke about doing this recording, and I wanted to get in here and see if we could distinguish what our station was sounding like.
Roger, that's what we're doing at the very moment, sir. You've got a great signal. What radio are you running?
And you gave me some figures. I've left it set at those figures, so I wanted to hear what it was sounding like over the air. One of these days, I'm going to acquire another HF rig, maybe a cheap second-hander that would be able to monitor my transmitted signal. I'm of course on the monitor with a headset on. And that does help me eliminate some of my mouth noises, I'll call it. Using a hand mic, it's a little bit rough sometimes, but using that monitor, it does help it stay in check. I do hear some of the pops in it, and try to eliminate that by mic position. But we, one of these days, will acquire a different boom type microphone and move up the ladder a little bit on voice quality, I'm hoping. However, I've noticed that the 7300 does have a very, very good sounding signal into the mixer. How you been doing, Jim?
Been doing pretty good, and I wouldn't change anything. Are you still using your hand mic?
Yes.
Oh, gosh, only for comfort would I change that, because acoustically that hand mic is giving you excellent rendition of audio. I wouldn't change it unless you just needed to get a more comfortable operation. Roger.
Yeah, Roger. Well, that's what I'm aiming for. Unfortunately, the hand mic is not in a boom style, and I don't know where else to go with that one. We just hope for the best in acquiring a microphone. I'll talk to the folks at How Microphone and see if they can really zero in on what I need to use for the 7300. I don't know if I need to go into the back and to the accessory to bypass the preamp or what, but I want to do the very best. I want to have the highest quality sound that I can have, and I'll be acquiring a AL 1500. That's moving up the ladder on that end of it, but maybe we'll be Q5 one day. I'm going to let you carry on, Jim, and I wanted to get in here and holler at you, and thanks for the comeback. And one day we'll meet again, and I'm looking forward to the audio report on that video. You have a good day. KC9VKV from KM4ZN 73.
Roger, Mel. Well, you ended on a high point there. That was, if I had an S meter, I would give you a 40 over on your last transmission. Sounded really good. And we will be posting this to YouTube in the next couple of days. So if you go to YouTube and do a call letter search of Kilo Charlie 9, Victor Kilo Victor, that will bring up the QSO-VLOG page. And this will be ID'd by my group and the date and the frequency. So 3's, Mel, sounding good down there. I really wouldn't change a thing. I'd just go down to my Wally World and get me some Gorilla Tape and tape everything down where it is. 3's to you, sir. We'll catch you later. It's KC9VKV.
KC9VKV from Alpha 3 Delta Alpha.
The Alpha 3 station. Alpha 3 station. Come back with your call sign.
Yes, good morning. It's Alpha 3 Delta Alpha. America 3 District Attorney.
Name here is Dave, Dog Able Victor Easy. We're in Westminster, Maryland. Westminster, Maryland is about 40 miles. Back to you, Jim. KC9VKV.
Roger, Dave. Sounding good this way. I didn't get your location. What was the location?
Westminster, Maryland. About 40 miles due north of Washington, D.C.
Roger that. Well, sounding mighty good here. What kind of power are you running?
The rig is an Icon 7610, and about a kilowatt. Off of a Mosley Pro 67B.
Roger. I'm not familiar with that antenna. What kind of antenna is that?
Well, it's one of the Mosley old guys. It's
5-band beam with a 2 elements on 40.
Roger, Roger. Now, we are right next door to Louisville, Kentucky. I don't know which way you may have that pointed, but we are just across the river from Louisville. Roger?
Roger. I'm headed at 291, which is pretty much due, well, a little bit north or west. I could go a little south, and maybe that would help, but I'm not sure that it would make a whole lot of difference. It's a pretty good antenna, but it's not exactly what you'd call diamond sharp in terms of the maximum power, which is good, because I just do not be too sharp. But I'm interested in seeing how this sounds, and I'll be looking for it on the YouTube page you've been talking about. Sounds really neat. Have you been doing this kind of thing for a long time, or is this something new you started? I appreciate it anyway, and I look forward to seeing how this sounds in the next day or two. KC9VKV A83GA.
Roger, Roger, Dave. Well, we've been running it for about a year and a half now, somewhere around a year and a half. And we've just recently started kind of working on one frequency on Friday mornings, which is this frequency, 7189. You know, before we were just kind of hopping all over the place and, you know, finding different folks on the fly. So this way we are at a standard position, and we try to operate each Friday morning between 10:30 and noon or thereabouts, and it's been working out pretty good. So your station, you know, I wish we had just a little bit better conditions. You were running, what, like a kilowatt?
Roger, about a kilowatt. The expert 1 KFA.
Roger. Well, we do not have good conditions. I'm only catching you about maybe 4 dB above my noise level. You should be, you know, easily at 12 or 15 dB above my noise level. Now I'm looking at the output from my receiver, looking at the audio output from my receiver on a VU meter. So when I talk dBs, I'm talking about, you know, residual channel noise and your modulation above that noise floor, not an S meter reading. Roger, I have the RF turned down quite a bit in the front end to stay out of AGC compression. Roger.
Roger. Well, I just increased the mic gain a little bit, and if it helps, fine. If not, so be it. But the 1200 watts, of course, or kilowatt is on peaks, and so I doubt that we're averaging that, but I would imagine it's about a kilowatt. And I typically have been getting into the Midwest pretty well, so and I just moved the antenna a little bit south, so we'll see how that sounds. But I appreciate the report, and I wish it could be better. But you're about a 5/9 here, and the noise level is almost non-existent. So we've got an advantage in that there's no noise here, Jim. KC9VKV A83DA.
Roger. Now that last transmission, you were 10 dB above my noise level, so quite an improvement from before. I think part of that was conditions, but I think also when you cranked up your audio, I think that made a big difference too. You might double check on your ALC reading to be sure that you're still within ALC specs. I usually run mine towards the max, but within the guidelines, but towards max. Roger.
Roger. Well, I'm about in the mid-range on the ALC, so I'm not driving it hard at all.
Roger, Roger. You know, folks say that they're not running compression, but the ALC is a form of limiting. So you are actually, in effect, you know, running limiting in the audio, even though you're not on the compressor. Roger.
Roger, Roger. Well, it's these new digital rigs are kind of classy in that they've got all these different adjustments that you can play with, and at this point, I'll just kind of, as long as you can understand what I'm saying, I'm happy about it, and I don't need to be busting a pile up or anything at a normal rag chew, and I don't do much for specifically hunting DX for confirmations, but I'd like to talk to anybody anywhere and sit down and get to know them a while. So that's the nature of my piece of the hobby, and I just enjoy getting to know folks, learn about them, and make a friend that we can check back with each other over time and share the fact that we're experiencing one of the more exciting times of this planet, and it recognizes the fact that, at least for myself, I'm getting older every day, and looking forward to seeing how things will work out as time goes by. So don't claim to be an old guy. There's an awful lot of guys on band older than I am, but I am retired, more or less. I got another company that I operate, but it's just more of a hobby, and I'm 75, and so I hope I've got a lot more time to operate. Maybe see the band openings come back up on the higher HF frequencies. So I'll let you go back to your group, my group, and look forward to talking with you again, Jim. KC9VKV, AA3DA, Westminster, Maryland, sir.
Roger, Dave, sounding really good there, and we will be posting this in the next couple of days. So if you go to YouTube and do that, call it a search for Kilo Charlie 9, Victor Kilo Victor, that'll bring it up, and like I say, we will be there somewhere on that page. It's hard to tell where YouTube is going to put you, but we should be on that page under my group, today's date, and the frequency. So 3's up that way, and I think we finally got some good conditions there towards the end, Dave. Before we were kind of, suffering about a 40 dB fade from time to time, but I think we ended on a high note, so you'll be able to hear your audio really good. 3's that away. You have a real good day, and this is KC9VKV.
November 5, United. Roger, Nancy Baker.
Pile up there, the Roger Nancy Baker station. This is KC9VKV.
Baker. My name is Lee. I am located in Michigan. I'm actually in Houghton Lake, Michigan, which when you're in Michigan, it's so easy to tell people where you are. If you take your right hand and face it toward you, the palm up facing toward you, where I am approximately is the middle finger, middle knuckle. That's about where I am, maybe just a little bit north of that. That's where we are. There's a large inland lake there, and we're up here in our cottage. We're going to spend the next week or 10 days up here. And I heard you and Dave talking. It's kind of a neat thing that you're doing, and I wanted to at least give you a call and then say hello. But signal sounds nice. The band has not been all that good to us here the last few days. All the bands, for that matter. I meet with a group in the morning, and on 80 meters, it was before this morning. There's a group that meets So, go figure. Back to you there. KC9, I think it's Delta Kilo Victor, WA8RNB.
Roger, call sign is Kilo Charlie 9, Victor Kilo Victor. Name is Jim Juliet India Mike, and we're located just across the river from Louisville, Kentucky. We're on the Indiana side of the mighty Ohio River, right at Louisville. And copying your signal somewhat up and down, sometimes barely 4 dB above my noise, but I think that last transmission you were up around 7 or 8 dB above noise. Today is not necessarily a good day on 40, although last week wasn't a good day on 40, and the week before that wasn't a good day on 40. So I'm beginning to wonder if 40 meters has something against us. Roger, Roger.
Conditions that I can remember. As a matter of fact, I heard someone say we've got about another year to go before we hit the bottom of the sunspot cycle, and then it starts getting better after that. And it's just like it's going to get worse. We haven't hit the bottom yet. Holy cow! It's been pretty disappointing. And I have, I have a new record. I'm telling you, and I have one here at my cottage.
Roger, Lee. Now, you did take a big fade there. I did catch something about something new, and then you kind of faded under my noise level after that. What was the new thing? Oh, you got a 7300?
Yes, exactly.
Oh, beautiful radio, man! I'm so glad for you. That is the ace radio for the moment, Roger. Roger, yes, that would be my ideal radio. Although I am kind of married to this FT990, older Yaesu FT990. Man, I really love this radio. It's just so nice to operate, and so predictable in a good way. Frequency stability is just unbelievable. You set it on the frequency 00000, and you come back a week later and it will be 00000. So can't beat that, Roger. Roger, Roger, Dave, 3's that away, sir, and unfortunately, we did not have good conditions today, but we do have some high spots in your transmission, so if you go to YouTube and do that call letter search, Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, that will bring up the QSO-VLOG page, and we'll have it entitled My Group, Today's Date, and Frequency. So the pleasure's been on this end. Dave, 3's to you. Catch you later. This is KC9VKV.
KD9KOR Indiana station call.
Indiana station, go ahead.
Yeah, this is KD9KOR out here in Indiana. Fairly new ham operator. Heard you gentlemen talking, so we'd have to try to get in there.
Roger, Roger. What's the name there in Indiana? Try that one more time, please, sir.
David Alpha, Victor Echo, Dave out here.
Roger, Roger, Dave. What town are you close to?
I'm up here in the northwest corner of Indiana, Lake County here.
Roger that. Well, I don't have a real good copy on you, but I do copy you in there. You're running about 100 watts, so what kind of radio?
Yeah, this is Kenwood 570D, and yeah, 100 watts.
Roger, roger. And what kind of antenna system?
I'm running one of these wires, I forget the exact name, but it goes 10 through 80.
Roger that. Well, I wish we had better conditions, you know. Some mornings are like that. We try to do Friday morning for our QSO-VLOG recordings, usually between 10:30 and noontime. And so you are in the group. You have been recorded, and if you go to YouTube in the next couple of days, we'll have it posted, and you'll find it by my group at today's date and the frequency. Roger.
Figured I'd try to get in there with this 100 watts. All right, I'm going to let it roll then. You have a good day out there. KC9VKV, Indiana Station, will be on the side here.
Roger, roger, Dave. 3 is that away, sir. You have a real good day. And this is KC9VKV with our Friday morning QSO-VLOG recording. Getting ready to wrap up. Anybody else want to get their transmission in? Go ahead.
Kilo India 8 Echo Sugar.
Echo Sugar Station. Go ahead. Repeat your call again.
Here is Kilo India 8 Echo Sugar. KIAES, near Detroit, Michigan. Handle here still. Papa Hotel India Lima. QSL.
Roger, Phil. Now tell me, I'm just curious, what kind of power level are you running? I'm sorry, I was just curious what kind of power you're running, because you just faded, and I think you said 700?
100 watts into an end-fed dipole, only 15 feet off the ground, QSO.
Oh, roger that, 100 watts. Okay. You know, today's not a good day for lower-powered stations, unfortunately, but I am copying you mostly maybe 2 or 3 dB above my noise level. Roger? Roger, roger. Now, 15 feet off the ground?
Yes, sir.
Well, is that by choice or by circumstance? Gosh, I lost you there. I'm not sure. You might try, you know, maybe 20 or 25 feet. Might help you a little bit. I don't know. Sometimes those lower dipoles work out pretty good, but law of averages says, you know, at least 25 or 30 feet, Roger?
Yeah, when I get my power up this fall, I've got to run 45 feet. I'll have it up about 50 feet QSO.
Oh, roger that. And you're going to be running it just a dipole or an inverted V or something?
I'm going to go with the delta loop on 40.
Roger that. What's the name again, please? Roger that, Phil. Roger that. Well, 3 is up that way, sir, and hopefully maybe next week, next Friday, you can join us again, and we'll have better conditions to copy your signal. But anyway, we will be posting this as probably about an hour and 20-minute QSO on YouTube in the next couple of days. So if you go to YouTube and do a call letter search for Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, that'll bring up the QSO-VLOG page, and we'll be on that page as my group, today's date, and frequency. Roger?
Fine business. Appreciate it very much. You take care. Kilo India 8 Echo Sierra 73. Down below.
Roger, roger. 3 is catch you later. This is KC9VKV. We're getting ready to wrap up here on our Friday morning QSO-VLOG recording. Tango Delta Lima station. Oh, trying there. You're right at my noise level, but try one more time the call sign phonetically. I'm sorry, so you were actually beneath my noise level. You were beneath my noise level, so let me say threes. Maybe try it next Friday. We're getting ready to wrap up here. I appreciate the shot, but like I say, conditions are not good this morning. It may be actually this afternoon by 20 minutes or so, but we'll try it again next Friday between like 10:30 and noon Eastern time on this frequency. So threes to everyone that participated. We will catch you later. Thanks. This is KC9VKV. We'll be clear.